up, everybody, and welcome to By the Book Bonus Bets. My name is Sia Najad. This is Meg McDonald, and it's time to pick a short shot and a long shot for the college football championship. I'm going to start with a short shot and a little bit of a chalky play.
Okay.
Let's go Texas. Let's go Longhorns. Let's go Matthew McConaughey, plus 450. Really like this team. And I like what's going on at the QB position with Ewers and Manning. I think both of these QBs are likely to be utilized throughout the season, maybe because of injury, maybe not. I like in college football, especially with what we saw last year with some college football contenders, I like having two quarterbacks going into my bet. And I like Texas Longhorns, specifically the offense. I love how Kyle Flood is running this particular offense. He's getting the quarterbacks out of the pocket, quick strike plays. It seems like there's a big-time understanding from this entire offense. I like the defensive side of the ball. And by the way, they crushed Michigan at the Big House, and I got to give them a little bit of credit for that.
Michigan kind of stinks, though.
Yeah, but they rebounded a little bit. They beat USC. Like, Michigan's not...
Yeah, but USC might stink, too.
That might be true. Well, okay, so what college teams are good in the first place?
No one.
I'm giving credit for going into the Big House and absolutely railroading Michigan.
Okay.
And the rest of their schedule, they got a lot of home games they're going to be able to handle, including a home game against Georgia. I think they're going to be undefeated going into the playoffs.
I'm so glad you brought up the fact that Texas still has to play Georgia, though, because welcome to the SEC Longhorns. I'm going to tell you my short shot because I'm basically looking at schedules throughout. Let the Buckeyes fly under the radar in the Big Ten. All the eyes are on the SEC. So you have an Ohio State team that plays Purdue, Nebraska, Iowa, Michigan State. Tight. Buckeyes fly under the radar. No one's betting them, which I absolutely love. And honestly, quarterback Will Howard, he isn't a freshman. He's a grad transfer from Kansas State. He led the Wildcats to a Big 12 title back in 2022, including a win over TCU in the Big 12 championship game. So yeah, give me the Buckeyes and let Georgia and Texas beat up on each other. Georgia plays Ole Miss, Tennessee as well, and Alabama. I'll let the SEC have their fun, but give me a Big Ten team to close the deal when Michigan pretty much is a shell of that national championship team from last year.
All right. Well, speaking of conferences, we're going to switch gears. We're going to go to my long shot in the ACC.
Stop.
It might finally be time. Am I doing this right? For the U. Cam Ward is a by-the-book favorite from last year, and I like the Miami Hurricanes at plus 2,000. Here's the Miami Hurricanes experience over the last 20 years. They talk the talk and they don't walk the walk, and part of the reason for that is because they haven't had a quarterback and they haven't had an offensive line. All they generally have is some skill players. Well, they still have that, and now they have an offensive line, and now they have a quarterback in Cam Ward. I think this team is big time on the rise, and I think they can scare some teams once they get to the playoff. You need a greght quarterback, and I think Cam Ward is a great quarterback.
Let me tell you who's a great quarterback. And my long shot is less of a long shot because Ole Miss is 12-1. I've liked them since the spring because Lane Kiffin is an absolute psychopath who has no mercy for any opponent. He will run up the score because he hates everyone. And look, I just talked about the SEC. I get it. Ole Miss plays in the SEC, but their schedule isn't terrible. They play at LSU, which Baton Rouge is always going to be tough to play in, like, no question. But then they're at home versus Georgia and Oklahoma, and quite frankly, the Oklahoma team I just saw was terrible, who has no offense. You had Jackson Arnold get benched versus Tennessee. So give me Ole Miss 12-1. I love Lane Kiffin, and I love Jackson Dart, who's already thrown for over 1,500 yards through 4 games.
Well, speaking of great quarterbacks, Jackson Dart's that dude for sure.
He's been pretty good.
Yeah. All right, well, there you have it. That's your college football championship, your short shot and your long shot to win the playoff. Plenty more to come on By the Book bonus bets. Stay tuned.